This is what we love to do most is interacting face to face with our people. We haven't done an expo in a minute, you know. After since COVID, it kind of like slowed stuff down, and we just focusing on other aspects of our business. But hands down, what we love to do the most is this kind of stuff, right? We've done this all over the world. Like had uh, events after the expos or whatever, in gyms, go out to eat the whole nine. We've had in just a bunch of cities, people meet up with us, walk through homeless people together, like whatever. Anything for us to interact with people in the real world, we're with it.
Prefer between tea and coffee? Like if you were to choose a drink in the morning.
Coffee. Bro, I'm American. We don't drink that British shit. Like, now that Trump won, we're getting rid of G. Throw that shit back in the harbor where it belongs. Get rid of taxes, America.
That ain't happening.
For me, it's strictly a time of day question. If it's early in the day, it's for sure coffee, and if it's anything after like 3, 4, it's gonna be tea.
Why you like coffee?
It's good.
The taste?
The taste, that's about it.
And just to give you guys a perspective, because it's a good jump off point about Ambrosia as a company, we try and approach things where it's like it's not about a short-term outcome, and caffeine is in general a very short-term outcome.
Right.
So we didn't come out with a pre-workout for a number of years, even though it probably would have been the easiest thing for us to sell because we're a workout-oriented company. We're workout-oriented individuals. But we didn't make a pre-workout because it didn't feel right to load it with stimulant. And when mushrooms started coming to the forefront a few years ago, we right away got very interested because we realized you could get these nootropic effects, you could get these adaptogenic effects, you could really like push yourself harder and get this enhanced mind-muscle connection. And we said, okay, this is a workout supplement. That's what we built our kinetic around, was that type of experience.
Whereas we're typical pre-workouts, it's a lot of stuff in there that is not conducive to pre-workout, right? So they have stuff like the beta alanine to make you feel all itchy and cracked out. A lot of stimulants, and for some people it's counterproductive. I know with me, I couldn't do a lot of pre-workouts because I would have anxiety.
When you guys are working with clients and whatnot, what's the number one thing you guys can all agree on was like the main problem or issue that people have when you're working with them?
Yeah, I could tell. I know what it is. It's actually, I know exactly what it is with full confidence. It's not nutrition. It's not training. It's not sleeping. It's not hydration. It's compliance. Compliance is the number one issue, which is really a matter of discipline. And discipline is the ability to do something consistently, even when you don't necessarily want to do it. And here's the test I ran to prove this. I used to only do nutrition coaching. It was like, not only, but it was like my main thing that I would do with my time to make money. And I had a lot of clients over time. And I had clients who were like, man, this food is just so boring. That's why I can't do it. I can't stick to my diet because the food's too boring. If it was like more exciting, I would be able to do it. So I was like, okay, got you. And I asked all their favorite foods, burgers, pizza, donuts, things like that. I planned them all into their diet, and they still failed. They failed because it wasn't the pizza, the donuts, the burgers. It's the idea, this human condition that we talk about. Whatever you're supposed to be doing, you want to do something else. Like, that's just how it is. And that's the tough thing to train against. You don't want to do whatever the task at hand is, and you can't get past that. And sometimes we're really good at doing it in certain areas, like maybe our jobs, or we're really bad at doing it for things of our health. So when you can dial in and understand what that is and work on that, that's when you start getting big time changes.
Compliance is everything. And if you look at, actually whether your goal is losing weight or gaining muscle, it doesn't happen overnight. So a lot of times, it takes 3 weeks to form a habit, but then to actually comply with that week after week, after month, after year, it's really hard to do. So that's what separates the greats from the not so greats.
I guess to a degree you have to fight against nature, right? Because it's kind of written or programmed in us to be efficient, to not do much. I mean, look at lions. We look at lions like the king of the jungle. They sleep all day. But they also, most of them, you don't see this side, they starve to death, right? So with us, we want to, we're programmed to, we have pleasure sensors in our brain when we get delicious food. So we can do it again. Why? Because our ancestors, it was hard to get food. So they had to do difficult things to find food. Now, since agriculture and modern technology, it's not a shortage of food. It's an abundance of food, too much food. It chases you, it hunts you down, right? We don't even got our food no more. I was in Holland for a few months, and nobody grocery shops. You buy what you eat that day. Fresh meat, you go to the butcher, all of that. Cook, prepare big old meals every day, right? Tomorrow, they do the same thing. They go to the market. At least you're walking around, moving around, picking out your fruits, your veggies, and stuff like that. But here we are, hoard up food, throw it in the freezer, pop it in the microwave, or just order it, and it comes to you. You're not even burning the calories to get up and go and get it, right? And this is how I do my thing. I eat once a day, so for my intermittent fasting, I have to go out and hunt all day, figuratively speaking. That's my workout, that's my training, doing my kids. Then when I get home at the end of the day, I get to relax and enjoy my food. When you eat, do y'all feel motivated to do stuff? Exactly. That's a physiological effect that we have so that we can digest our foods properly. We eat, and the body just wants to chill, just to relax, so we can partition our nutrition properly, right? But we'll do that all throughout the day and wonder why we're crashing on energy. It's just something you gotta consider, make it make sense, and eat to live, don't live to eat.
Do you really think that the sleep has that big of a factor on how you're going to look? Because, even though I'm not sleeping, I'm still progressing. I'm still getting leaner. So do you feel that it really has? I know everyone says sleep is really, really important. It's good for between stress levels, blood glucose, everything. But do you really feel that, at a specific level, it really is as important? Or is it just kind of like something people say?
Learning about the physiological effects of not sleeping is literally taking days off your life, increasing your chances of mortality. You might feel great now, but it'll catch up to you. Think about how much better you'll look with proper rest, because that's when your body's doing all the work.
When you get to a certain level of body fat, it's just gonna be harder to sleep because your body's lacking that store of energy. So it's just harder. And one way to mitigate that is obviously to have a routine before bed, maybe something to beat the stress down, like a no morbidity or ritual PM would help. That has KSM 66 ashwagandha. Supplements we look to supplement. I'm not saying that's going to cure you, but for me it helps a lot. Ritual PM and no morbidity. Right now, no morbidity is what I use, and it really helps me a lot. Even though I don't have an appetite issue, I find that taking that before bed helps me sleep. It also helps to activate a protein in your body that can burn some fat while you sleep. So if you're interested in that.
It is one of those things about what's optimal versus what's possible. We can focus on trying to be optimal, or you can accept hey, this is my career, and I also happen to love bodybuilding. So you already sounds like you're already not getting the best sleep just because of probably the schedule, which is what you guys were alluding to at the beginning. And then dieting, like Mark said, it's going to cause that. So that routine is everything. You got to just try your very best to optimize that routine and accept from that what it will be. If that is 1 more hour of quality sleep, it's still 1 more hour.
And we gotta get 5?
Oh, you're not in. What are you talking about?
The goal is 5.
Oh, you're doing a set. Yeah. I'm asking him what weight he wants.
The goal is 5 reps.
The goal is 5. If we get less, it's okay. We just want to push ourselves. Do we just go with these guys here? Because I'll use a spot on the first rep.
Yeah, I got you.
From the shoulder.
I got you.
I'll kick him up and
From right here?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. You ready?
Yeah, right here. Yep.
I'll kick him up and then we'll go.
Okay.
Let me kick him up first, though. All right. You know the problem?
Come on.
It's too light.
Get it.
Sorry.
That was everything.
That was it?
Let's get it. Come on. I got 1 rep. I got you if you need it. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Let's go.
3 more.
Let's
Can you open the
go.
last one then?
Let's go. Come on. Come on. Up, up. Okay. You done?
I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
That was a good negative.
I tried.
That was a good negative. Hey, no, negative reps count. Yeah.
When trying to scale a business, what y'all are doing, how do y'all juggle the personal and then the business? You know, because you have these personal desires that you want to hit, but you still got people that's calling upon you. What has been your journey with that?
I don't believe in work-life balance. I would like put the personal stuff to the side and just go hard with my passion, qualifying myself to do whatever I do better, and my health and all of that, my mind, like learning more things. Just go hard with that until you're ready. It's a travesty for a man to go through his life and not really peak on all levels. You know what I'm saying? Go hard.
There's never going to be balance. And I try my best, but I fail. So all you can do is try. Because like tomorrow, my son is going to wrestling state championships. And he's probably going to roll over people. And I'm not going to be there. So I'm going to speak to men first. Like, number one thing a man should do is provide. Number one, I don't care if your wife makes $5 million a year, like you should work. A man without purpose, I couldn't live. I couldn't live without purpose. I get up every day. I'm excited to crush it. I'm excited to go to work. I'm excited to look at spreadsheets, go to meetings. I love that shit. I start every day with training. But when I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. I coach them in football. I coach them in strength. My daughter's here right now. So when you're there, you got to be there. But realize that as a man, you sometimes got to go out and do stuff. You got to provide. And lucky for us, we're not pouring concrete every day. Like, that's a hard job. We're not going out risking our life every day like you. That's a hard job. But we get a chance to provide for society, for our family. Obviously, we employ a ton of people. So it's something that we're giving back to society. And I do believe that men need to work. That's me. And if you think I'm a chauvinist for that, that's just my personal belief and experience.
And just to pile onto it, I think that the best thing you can do is make as many deposits as you can into yourself right now, because any advice to the contrary might leave you short in the future. Versus if the advice is go as hard as you can right now to add more value to yourself and your business and whatever it is that you have to bring yourself forward into the future, you're not going to be like, oh, I worked too hard through my 20s. No one says that. It never happened. That's no such thing as that story. I worked too hard in my 20s.
You don't regret it?
Yeah, you would only, but I mean, you did have kids very young, get married very young too. I'm assuming that's not your situation.
It's just me.
Yeah, so you only have yourself to be responsible for it. You have to go extra hard, because if in the future you hope to attract the woman of your dreams, you want to be ready for that. You want to ready yourself up so that you can create an environment where you could take care of that lady or create that family or whatever. And you have to be ready. You don't want to cross paths with that individual in like 2 years and you're not ready because you were slacking right now. So you better just go as hard as you can so that you can be ready for whatever's coming. It's only gonna further you right now. If someone has that family and they're in their 40s or like late 30s, then they have other considerations that they have to make. You have none. You just have yourself. You have to be responsible to yourself and being the best version of yourself.
I have always had an issue with getting off work and it's 7 in the morning and I've worked all night and I haven't eaten because my body doesn't really give me hunger cues from the middle of the night. I should be sleeping. So I get up in the morning, my body's hungry, but I don't really have an appetite. I have a big difference in my body between like hunger and appetite. Is there any like supplements that would help me have better appetite with working that swing shift and not having like a normal eating schedule?
Fantastic.
Can you not work that shift? Okay.
So one thing I look at is digestive enzymes and probiotics. Keep your gut health on point. I don't have a huge appetite for my metabolism. I eat a lot of food, but I have trouble getting in enough. So I find that having a good complex probiotic digestive enzyme really helps. For me, at least. Again, is it gonna be incremental? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends on you and how messed up your gut is.
Yeah.
We have a product called Flora that I take. I'm gonna name drop. It's an Ambrosia event, is what it is. So that's my preference because we make it.
Yeah.
But I'd look at one with full spectrum. I believe we have 14 different active cultures in there. So that's one thing I look at. Other than that is if you absolutely need calories, like you're very lean, like
Yeah.
you're insanely
And when I
lean.
look at the amount of calories that I need to eat to be able to gain muscle, I'm like, in the 8 hours that I'm awake and functional during the day, like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to. I eat a lot of rice. And I'm not a huge meat eater, so I eat a lot of beans. That's probably another part of my issue with gaining. But chicken for main protein. Around like 100 grams a day, I would say. Like 130.
And for me, I drink a lot of my food. I just don't have, I mean,
That's what I'm doing right now, is drinking a lot.
I think Sean's the same way. Make sure you have the right shake. I personally can't drink a lot of dairy and lactose. I'm not lactose intolerant culturally. I am. Ashkenazi Jews aren't good with lactose. And if you have any Asian or black in you, they're extremely, so you might not think you're lactose intolerant, but you might just have a little bit. That's my theory. I have no real studies to back it up. I'm just guessing based on.
Well, I was reading that most Americans, period, have some kind of lactose intolerance. It may
Yeah,
not be,
it does.
it may not be super dangerous, but stomach issues, acne, so bloating. But we got a plant-based protein called Planta. So you could supplement that. That's an extra, just one and a half scoops of that is on top of what you're already doing will
There
get
you
you
are.
where you need to be with your protein. So it's something like, if you're getting your protein in, you might be kind of good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but to
Yeah.
gain weight, like,
You need a little excess.
yeah, I mean.
But you gotta, all right, so you can't go by hungry, you gotta be disciplined. Know what X amount of time, I gotta
I
eat.
was gonna say that what you could do is you could have, especially if you want to just drink it, so you don't have to sit there and chew. Because sometimes the act of spooning in and chewing when you're not hungry is very difficult.
Tedious, yeah.
So drinking it can be a lot more efficient. So you could have like 3 to 5 different recipes that are of smoothies that are like 500 calories that you can make in just a couple minutes, and you can drink pretty quickly. That will taste good too. That you can just go between. So you're not thinking about what do I want to eat, except for like which of these smoothies do I want today. Like I'm just going to choose from these couple options. You might even just say I need 2 options, and you just pick from those, and you just know which one you're going to whip up to give yourself 30 to 40 grams of protein and 500 calories. So you know you're on your way to get it. You're making that first deposit into like the reservoir you need to fuel up for building muscle and maintaining yourself.
Are there any new products on the horizon? Are you guys, or what direction are you guys looking at going?
That's a great question. Currently, we're really focused on hydroglyph because we believe that the hydration category has a lot of options, but not a lot of great options. And that's kind of where plant protein was a while back. There was many plant proteins actually. They just all sucked. None of them, they mixed poorly, they tasted like dirt, and they were not optimized for being effective. So yeah, all of that, everything you can think of, they had every disadvantage. So we said, okay, we're not hippies, but we are very interested in having a source of protein that isn't just dairy. That's what everyone's doing. But if we eat meat, so if we could have a protein powder that was plant sourced, that would be interesting and different for providing our bodies a different source of protein. And if it's less inflammatory, so it's going to contribute to our longevity, well, that would be great too. But we got to get past this poor mixability and shitty taste and this amino acid problem. So we did. We fixed those 3 things, and that's what made Planta. In the hydration space, you see a lot of products that have big doses of sodium, and then sometimes they back that up with potassium, magnesium, and chloride. But they usually are foundationally pretty much salt water with flavor and sweetener. You know, and then if you're lucky, they sprinkle in a little bit of something else. But we said let's combine these categories of this hydration, which is definitely valuable. Gatorade has been sold for many years. That's the only product they make. In fact, they spend more money on research than all supplement companies combined. but they keep just making Gatorade because they're like, yeah, this stuff works. Like it works pretty good and people want to buy it. So it's sugar and salt together. So they just sell that sugar water with salt in it, and then it's a multi-billion-dollar company. But we said in hydration, if someone was to really make a sophisticated hydration product, it might actually make a difference in people's health. Because if you're on a journey to lose 100 pounds or more, one of the big things we need to do is optimize that journey for keeping muscle, because you need the muscle that you have to keep that metabolism going, to keep you strong, to keep you functional and capable, because that's going to keep your calorie burning engine up. So we need to provide you something that you can drink daily that will help to protect that muscle, because as you're losing weight, some percentage of that will be muscle no matter what you do. But let's make it as little as possible. Let's give you something that you can consume while you're in those periods of not eating that we spoke about, that allow your body to optimally tap into fat storage and optimize your health and your insulin blood sugar levels. Everything, it just gets better. But you need something. So we made Hydrolift to be that functional beverage that you can drink while you train, and it will help you get through the hardest sessions and replace the electrolytes you need and the amino acids. But you could also sip on it while you're fasted. And you could sip on it in periods of time where you're not eating, and it will allow you to get through those periods more efficiently as well. Keep the appetite in check and give your body what it needs to prevent from going catabolic. We combined electrolytes, branched chain amino acids, essential amino acids, this stuff called velocitol that helps you absorb protein better, and then HMB that helps stave off muscle breakdown. So all together in one formula, and it tastes so fucking good. And you all have a sample of it in your bag, so you could try it tonight while we train. But it just, when you drink it, you could feel that you are putting something good in your body. Especially if you've been pushing yourself and you take a sip of it, it hits. So with that said, next new product that we have coming out,
Yes.
is a creatine product. But in the Ambrosia fashion, we've waited. We didn't want to come out with a plain creatine because it's available in abundance. It's a commonly,
commodity.
yeah, it's a common thing. But we've been waiting to see what can we do to make creatine more functional, to help people utilize it to really make a difference in their training. And we have that now. We have that combination now. And we're pairing the creatine with another ingredient that actually I've never seen before. I've never seen anyone use it before. It exists. It's been existing for a long time. I don't know if we should unveil it.
Wait.
Yeah, it's very, yeah.
Wait till it hits.
I'll tell you this though, when you're pushing yourself the way that creatine allows you to do, the nature of creatine is to allow you to perform more repetitions because you can produce cellular energy more efficiently. So you can do more reps than you would normally do. The downside of that is that you also produce more waste product, lactic acid, from muscle contraction. If there was a way to simultaneously help with that issue and let the creatine do its thing, well, you might just have another level in your training.
That's enough.
It's something that people should have figured out by now, but they have not. We got pressure from our board. They're like, hey, you guys should make creatine. We're like, we don't want to make creatine like plain. They're like, then no, don't. Do it your way. Whatever you want to do. Make it special. It will be coming out in the next month and a half. And the product will be all happen.